Hello, this is Dirk de Jong from King Luma, and in this video we'll be looking some more at the King Luma Deviance product, and specifically we'll be looking at applying it as an effect. In the previous video we looked at applying it as a single track transition, and in this one we're going to look at applying it as an effect and hopefully show some tips related to using it that way. So what I have here in Final Cut Pro is a sequence that we put together with a bunch of deviance effects to kind of promote the product, and let me just play a piece of this. We're going to use one of the shots as our example. So what do we have here? Here we have it as a single track transition between these two skateboarder shots, and then there's a freeze frame and there's some deviance effect applied there, and then as he lands there's another effect instance of deviance, and then a couple of transitions, one on the incoming title there and one on the underlying video. And you can see that it's sort of synchronized. We wanted to sort of emphasize the effects, and each one is sort of synchronized with a sound effect. And I figured as long as we were doing this, I'm going to jump into this other sequence, and we have the same shot there, and we'll use this in a second. As long as we're doing this, I'd share the source of these sound effects. This 99sounds.org that I found has a lot of really useful free stuff, and you see this digital malfunctions group, and this one has glitches, and there's the turntable scratching sound is from here, and some cool little beat loops and stuff. And they're nicely curated and seem totally legitimate and stuff like that. So check it out, 99sounds.org. Okay, so back in Final Cut Pro here, we have our skateboarder. He's doing his jump and is landing over there. And you can see these markers. I've already kind of marked the place where he lands, and there's a corresponding marker in the audio because I think there's a nice low-end thud right at that point. Let me just play it down. And so what we're going to do is add a deviance effect right over here. And so I don't need it over here, so what I'm going to do is hit the B key, get my little razor blade tool, and make a cut right there. And so now it's still, a continuous shot, but this is a separate segment in the timeline where I can add a video, easily add an effect just to this piece. So we're looking at the effect browser right now. You'll find with King Luma Deviance, between the effects and the transitions, the categories, the sort of themes, and even the effect names are generally the same between the two. And the idea is if you see something in one place that you like, you can easily find it over in the other place. So we have some glitch is one category, flicker, TV, lines. There's more like really strong horizontal and vertical lines in that one, and then flutter. Why don't we go to the flicker category, preview a couple of those. That might be cool, just a little blur and brightness blow-ups here. So let me just apply it, play it by default, see what we have. So that's not too bad, but let's go in and make some changes to this. I have the segment selected, so these are the parameter controls for this Flicker 03 deviance effect. First thing I'm going to do is enable this deviance graph. For those of you who didn't see the transition video, this deviance graph is a display, that's going to show you the strength of the deviance effects over time. The further they get away from this gray baseline, whether above or below, you're getting more of an effect at that point, generally. And so I'm going to bring down the frequency boost because there's kind of a lot of changes there, more than I need all at once. Maybe change up the deviance seed a little bit, get some different pattern there. And let's play it again now. Okay. That looks pretty good. Let's see what else we have. So this blur effect, I saw there's a little ghost in there. I'm actually going to turn that down. I don't really want that. The blur effect is kind of nice. Directional blur is cool. There's a zoom blur you can do. I'm going to leave it on directional blur, and I'll increase the blur length and maybe change the angle. He comes in and lands maybe at an angle, something like that, right? So maybe that'll be kind of a cool thing to have. And one thing you'll find with this this overlay, similar to the transition but a little bit different, you only have one handle, which is the deviance strength parameter. It represents this this parameter right here, the topmost parameter. In the transition, there's one on the start and end as well, because there's this auto animation that goes on. which is not true here. Here, you just, if you want to change the strength over time, you can simply keyframe it, which is really easy to do, which I think I'll do now. So if I create a keyframe there, and then maybe another one there, and then maybe just fade it out there. I guess I could have just razor bladed off this piece if that's all I really wanted. And you can see how it flattens out there, you know, based on my keyframing. And so let me just play that down. So I think that looks pretty good. One sort of final adjustment I might want to make is I think right when he lands, which is right at the beginning of the effect, I'd like a stronger bit of deviance going on. So this nice bump here, I can kind of actually shift that over like that. And that won't affect my keyframing, obviously, but it will affect, because you didn't see this point move, but it will affect this this randomized pattern generated by the plugin. So let me just actually turn this off and play it down one more time, and I think we'll be good to go.